Hello guys, welcome back. This is actually a really hard video to make because it's really easy to tell people don't lie or Loki will bring it to the light. But, then it gets all bogged down in stuff like, but there is situational ethics, man. There may be times it's better to lie, but, um, in a perfect world, we could just write everything down on a piece of paper and it would look great on a piece of paper. But in general, Loki is the god. This is why no matter what door you walked in, you gotta go read the lore. If you read Loki's flighting, Loki knows all this shit about these gods that he should know, and he's bringing it out to the light, and these gods are either doing something that was traditional, or the god he brings out the stuff to light of is so devastated that another god has to jump in and defend them. And it's pretty nasty some of the shit he brings up. And it's like sexual proclivities, stuff like that. Yeah, doing stuff that at the time that was a fucking low insult what he said. It was worthy of being killed in combat is what he said. And that's just his nature. He will drag out all your nastiest shit and he will put it on parade for all to see. And so the smart thing to do before you work with Loki is most people will say, and I agree with this, get your nasty shit. You already know, it already popped into your head. Get your nasty shit out in the open in a way that does the least damage possible. I know you don't want to do it because you're like, oh, but this is really bad. No fucking shit. I had the experience before I really realized it was Loki that did it that I didn't want to be out online. I was like, what the fuck does my being gay have to do with anything? Like, gay people don't like give random different advice. It's not like we're a different species. But, and this was decades ago, before being out online was really, I wasn't part of the communities or anything, so I had no idea what was going on. Um, I had told a woman in confidence, a straight woman. Well, one day her ass got drunk at night and she was really trying to get me to sex her up online, and I'm like, no. And because I wouldn't have cyber sex with her, she outed me online, that nasty bitch. And she was just fucking vicious about it because I wouldn't sleep with her. And I said, your fucking dumbass is married. I hope your husband knows that you were trying to have sex with strangers online. So I outed her back. I'm like, listen, bitch. And I think that caused a lot of excitement in her life, but that was the Lokean in me coming out. The Lokean is like, okay, we're dragging shit out in the street. Listen, bitch. So that's the Lokean, and you will probably don't go out of your way to do it because it was a truly natural, organic reaction. But that's the Lokean in you. That's the part like Loki that. Okay, bitch, we dragging stuff out in the street? Okay, okay, because I'm gonna drag your shit out in the street too. Mm-hmm. Look, he's like, yeah! He will drag your shit out in the street. You are better off confessing. And, it's complicated. I don't know what's going on in your situation. It might mean having to change jobs. It might mean having to find a good divorce lawyer. I don't know, but you're usually better off doing your research before you start working with Loki, whatever shit you got hiding in your closet, and find out the best way to bring it out in the open. Maybe you're gay and you don't want to talk about it. Maybe you've been having an affair. Maybe you want to have an affair. Maybe you've been stealing at work. You gotta find out the best way to bring that shit out in the open. There will be people that have been where you are and they can give you better advice than I can. And they will say, well, this is what worked for me, and this is the reaction they had. Surprise, surprise. And, look at it from both the perspective of the person that did what you did and the person that it was done to. That would be my one bit of advice. And, you know, people are emotionally going to be hurt. They ain't going to react too well, but, there are gentle ways to bring stuff to the light. Loki will choose the worst way possible, just so you know. Like, you will be having dinner and your side piece is going to walk up to you and be like, who this bitch? And your wife will look at you and go, "What?" And, stuff like that, or, your significant other will get the certain urge. They have never cleaned your stuff before. They will be cleaning your stuff and find out that, like, you like to cross-dress, or you are having an affair, or you are embezzling money. The people will find out shit, because look, you'll be somewhere going, you know what you should do? Go clean their shit for them, because you love them so much. And you'll come home and they'll be all pissed off. He will do that. He will do that. He will carry, like, if you're working with multiple gods and you say something in confidence to one little god, there's a little fox somewhere, a little fly on the wall somewhere listening, like, oh, this is some good shit. And he'll go around, he'll tell the other god, and you will get stuff. Just last night to set me up, because I swear he knows the future. Some god was giving me shit. It was either Asmodeus or Odin. I can't even remember. But I said, "Hey, look, Issei," like, thinking back to, like, those 80 movies and 90 movies and everything, where they would just hiss that at people. And of course, the instant I said it, La Santa showed up, and she's like, "Oh, she can't speak Spanish, but she knows this one word. Mm-hmm. Tell me, is it scary because it's Spanish? Are you saying Mexican people are scary?" And I'm like, oh, fuck. So, you know, he was like, "I'm gonna cause some problems. I'm gonna cause some drama." And I'm explaining to her, you know those movies back in the 80s and 90s? And it's getting worse and worse, because every person of Mexican or Spanish descent, you wore the headbands, said esse to everybody, and like hissed it, and carried a pocket knife. That was like every Mexican character in the 80s and 90s, and it was horrible, and it was miscasting, but people gotta eat, man. But and it was a thing where the more I explained, the deeper shit I got in. And I knew it was bad. I knew it was wrong. It was just something I remembered seeing in this film. And I said offhandedly to the god, and, hiss it at them. And they're like, "Oh, you hissed a word at me, and I'm not sure what that word is." Santa's like, "Da, da, 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 da," which I had coming. So that was instant karma. That was instant karma. And I'm like, see, this is why I should only. And then I got even worse. And later, privately, I'm saying, and I know she knows, I said, "See, this is why I should only work with white gods. You all got a sense of humor. You don't work with anyone else. They all touchy." I don't fucking get it. I'm like, at least you white people got a sense of humor. But that'll come out. It'll come out naturally. Coffee's so good. And, it was funny, because, I've been watching a lot of Wanda Sykes recently, and, she can say things as a black comedian that I couldn't come on and repeat her jokes, so you'd all be mad at me. And, white people gotta watch what they say, right? And that was a situation there where, I just was doing it. It was a pop culture thing. It was something I remembered from a movie. I wasn't doing it to be blatantly racist. I wasn't doing it to disrespect people of Mexican descent. It was just something that happened, and it's something that's part of American culture. And I've seen plenty of, Mexican American comedians do it, but you shouldn't do it as a white person. And, Santa's like, "Oh, so that's what you think of all of us, huh?" I'm like, "Oh, shit." I'm like, speaking like you're from, like, further down in South America, and I'm like just digging my grave deeper and deeper at that point. And she's just looking at me. And I said, this is why, though. I said, you got to be honest. You got to be honest. And there's that song, "We're all a little bit racist." It's true. Be honest. Be honest about what you think about people. Be honest about what you're doing in your life to get back to Loki dragging out your secrets. And, just be honest, be real, because if you're living a lie, look, he's going to drag it out. Look, he's going to drag it out and let all the world see. If you're a little bit racist, just let people know. Be like, "Yeah, I think all people are created equal, but this is what I really think of these kind of people over here, and I can't help it. That's just the way I am. Fine, be honest. People will respect you more if you're honest. People will be like, oh, I really do this, but I think that. So just be honest. And a lot of times you will find out it was better that Loki jerked something out in the open. You might be angry and it might hurt if he does it. So, you really do want to get ahead of your shit and bring stuff out in the open. But, if the situation calls for it, and I don't want to I'm not giving you a pass card. I'm not saying, hey, just keep doing what you're doing. Loki ain't gonna out you. Um, if the situation warrants it, you can find he's surprisingly understanding. But there's usually almost always a solution to something that doesn't involve you doing something wrong. There are situational ethics. I can't tell you specifically in your case, so please don't ask. I can't, I don't control Loki. He doesn't answer to me. He barely respects me some days. So, you gotta be, honest about that stuff. And it was like I was talking to them, and I was going through a lot of turmoil from doing this cleaning, so I kind of just was crashing with the Norse gods last night, and I said, I think I want to be with just Norse gods because I feel I can relax and I don't have to dance on eggs and be delicate about stuff, and I can say whatever pops into my head, and I don't go off camera and say endless streams of racist or bigoted things or anything like that, but you will say stuff and not towards a group of people or anything like that. So this isn't racist material, but it will be stuff that people of other cultures would just stop dead and look at you like, what did you just say? And it's stuff that as Americans or as, whatever, you could say and they wouldn't even blink because they understand where you're coming from. But like just the reaction from La Santa. And I was like, oh, Jesus, I can't even say words out of a language now. Okay, fine, be that way. And like, can I go listen to music now? And then it becomes this thing of like look but don't touch. Okay, fine, be that way. And it's kind of a double standard. And then you have to get that out with your gods and talk about it. One of the reasons why Asmodeus and I don't get along for well, is there is that prickly double standard between most cultures of look at my stuff but don't touch it. Look at my stuff but don't touch it. And people will say, well, it's all the fault of people that look like you. And it's like, okay, so we know how you feel towards people that look like me. And, and then you're like, you know what? I'm just tired of trying because there would be days like Asmodeus would be like, oh, it's so nice. You're like looking at Persian stuff. And then I'd be like, all us Persian people are the same, huh? You know what? There's no fucking making any of you people happy. At least with, and I'm like, this is why I'm going back to white gods. And it's not like any of you people is in all Persian people or all non-European people, but it's like, this is it exactly. This is it exactly. It's that reaction where if I'm not doing it, I'm a racist. If I'm doing it, I'm a racist. So there you go. There's a big, deep secret I've been hiding of I'm tired of dancing on eggshells and being like, if I do it, I'm a bad person. If I don't do it, I'm a bad person. I'm just tired of you, and I'm tired of this double standard. I can't take it anymore. Uh. So, and once you say that, it's very freeing and very liberating. And I told Odin, I said, I just want to come home. At least you white people got a sense of humor. And he starts laughing. Italians are included and excluded at will, so I don't know what I am. So So, do bring your secrets out. And I know I probably got a bunch of unsubs for that, but that's like something I was like, well, we don't have to talk about that on camera. I'm not going to play too well. But, it's one of those things where if you can't joke back and forth with your gods about cultural differences, you don't belong together. If you can't just say something offhandedly and they are going to get all offended and, up in arms and militant, especially if they tease you the other way, that's not fair. That's not fair. That's not fair. Don't take shots at someone and be like, suddenly I'm a protected species and you can't say anything back. That's not fair, man. It's not fair. If you're going to take shots at someone and they can't take shots back at you, then you do have a double standard. You have a standard of, oh, it's okay when I do it, but you can't do it. You're like, oh, I can't possibly be shot at. I'm so delicate and weak. No, you gonna shoot at someone, they go shoot back. So, it was like I just want a Nordic household for a while because I'm tired of, feeling like I'm walking on eggshells, and that was something I wasn't going to talk about on the channel, but it's like it's something we should talk about. We should talk about because it happens in our lives. Of, oh yeah, I work with so and so, and I made this joke the other day, and I thought it was funny, and I could hear crickets, and they were pissed off with me. Or they wanted me to cook this food, and they were so excited, and I cooked it one day, and they looked at me and they said, "Did you cook this for me?" Because I'm, fill in the blank. Talk about it, man. Talk about it. Get out in the open. So, if you like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you later. Bye bye.